Okay, Pete.
Mike Picolari here. We're going to give a verbal summary to you. We won't go through every detail, but we'll highlight some of the main issues, and we'll take you around. We'll start here in the garage. Now here you have a Siemens 200 amp service, and this is nice. 200 amp is a nice, good capacity. Here we had the dead face off. Everything inside the box was good. We checked all the branch circuits throughout the house, inside and out. They were good. Now, when we move over here in 1991, this is where you're going to find the GFI system. And this was good. The test button was good. This controlled both bathrooms and the front and rear outlets, exterior outlets. So this was working as intended, as we said. On the inside here, this was a 1995 component. This is an A.O. Smith, 40-gallon capacity. And this, everything was fine here. The temperature pressure relief valve is routed the way it's supposed to be. The temperature was right at 120.7 degrees, which was great, okay, right where it should be, that's optimal. Here, this is your sprinkler system, which is great. This is a Rainbird, real easy to operate. This, you had 6 designated zones. Everything worked fine. We checked them, all the zones out. You also had something, water is expensive in Florida. So here we have a pump well system. And here we have a bladder. This worked fine. You also had, they ran an exterior faucet off of this, and it had a 40 PSI, which is right where you want to be with a pump well system. So everything was fine with this. They put some add-on electric, was great. Everything is in conduit the way it should be. It was GFI protected, so that was great. You had an older garage door operator here. It's chain driven, and it didn't have an auto reverse here on the bottom, at the bottom of the garage door jambs. Now, that's important, particularly when we're talking about pets and children. So if any of that would be a consideration for you, I would upgrade to a newer system. The overhead garage door itself, it was insulated, which is great. There's a little bit of oxidation to the bottom of the door on the outside, but nothing to speak of. Here in the garage, this is our attic access to the attic. This was great. It's pulled downstairs, and everything here was working as intended. Okay? We'll talk about the attic in just a little bit here. The walls of the garage were fine, and the door leading into the house was fire rated. It was a solid core, and that's important to have. Yeah, on the outside here, grass was in beautiful shape. The vegetation was good because everything here was the way it should have been as far as the trimming of the vegetation. Everything was cut away from the house, and everything was trimmed below the fascia and soffits. That is very important, and it poses a lot of problems when that's not the circumstance. Now, here we know that this is a sinkhole repair, and in their repair they did all of the brick pavers. They were all fine. They all worked out good. We'll move outside here, and probably your weakest link here, Mike, is the gutter system. Now, you have a 6-inch gutter system, which is great. However, there were some of the seams that were leaking. And when some of the seams, I'll give you a reason why some of those seams, I believe, are leaking. Now here, if you look over here, at your front porch area, where the gutter meets the top header of the top of the porch, there was repair. There's caulking here, but this area was dripping and leaking from the gutter system. Now, this is an area that is going to be prone to a high volume of water. The roof attachment for the porch meets the main roof, so that creates a valley and you have a high water volume coming down here. There is some repair to the texture to this header, so this is an area you want to monitor. This is an area that can be problematic because of the high water flow here. Okay? Here you have 6-inch downspout, and it's extended away from the house. Water is your worst enemy to the house if not diverted away. So this is exactly how this should be. Again, 6-inch downspout, 6-inch gutter system. On the gutter system, we want to make sure that it's sloped properly. If not, we did find some sitting water in the system, and we don't want that. That tends to wick into the fascia board behind it, and that causes other problems. When we go to the other end here, the corner, okay, we can see black stains, and you'll see this in the report. Black stains here, and that suggests that we have leakage coming from these stains in the gutter system. So, bottom line is, with the gutter system, we want to make sure that all these seams are buttoned up and that we have the proper slope so the water is diverting out of the system. We'll go this way. The windows were all exercised throughout the house. Now, all of the screens except one window were missing from the windows. However, we did find the stored screens in the attic, so you know, that's a good thing. But we checked all the windows. They're not new. They look like original equipment. There was some wear and some pulling away of some of the weather stripping. That's consistent with the age of the components. Okay? These are really nice here in Florida. These ligustrum trees, they grow slowly and they're easy to manage. And the way they have these aesthetically are just the way they should be. Your sprinkler system, some of these landscape sprinklers were backing up to the house. Now, there are areas, and you could see, I don't know from the vantage point here you can see it, but there's some iron that you can see on the wall. And that's telling us that the water is spraying back to the house itself. There are diverters you can put on these sprinkler heads, and you can actually keep that away from the house. Now these are high. These sprinkler heads, they don't have to be that high. They can be actually lowered and diverters put on them. And that's probably a better idea than letting that spray back go up against the house itself. On the east side of the house, we found a couple of minor stains on the inside, and it's low. And I believe that's coming from the same thing. It's adjacent to the sprinkler heads, and some of that water is backing up to the foundation area and actually wicking to the inside. On the outside here, now here we have some negative slope where some of that water will puddle into this area. That's important because what happens after time, the soil gets undermined and the dead weight of the house bears down. And so here, we want to raise the grade here and even put maybe some lava rock or something to filter some of the water. So everything is going down into a gully in this area here. But we want to try to raise this. This is great because you have some iron. We saw some iron just around the corner there. And here we have a water softener system. Timer was okay, reversing valve was okay, salt in the hopper. We actually couldn't inspect this because it's too long to ionize during the course of the inspection. We had exterior faucets on the east and west side. Your water pressure coming into the house was 80 psi, which is perfect. We walked the roof, and the roof cover was good. The roof cover is a dimensional asphalt fiberglass shingle, typically a 25 to 30 year life expectancy depending on the weight of the shingle. But everything up there was okay. There was nothing to mention as far as defects. It was in good shape up there. It's a gable roof style. That's the style roof it is. And the flashing looked okay on the outside. There was a chimney up there and it was counter flashed. Now the chimney in the attic area, we did find some staining to the chase, some water staining. And that's something that should be monitored and really checked going forward so that we don't have any leaks unbeknownst to us or nothing that we can see on the roof area. But in the attic, that's where that'll be picked up. Today it wasn't wet, but there was black staining that you'll see in the report from the roof chimney above. The other thing here, Mike, if you have any questions, just give me a shout after reading the report, and I'll be glad to give you any further information you might need. Now here, nice pool. You have two screen doors coming in. You had a couple of minor rips to the screens, but nothing really to speak of. So there were no guy wires found to the, usually you have guy wires coming to give some rigidity to the top, to the bottom on both ends. However, the structure was fine. It was stable. And the most vulnerable area here was again, the gutter system. Now nearby you have a beautiful camber tree back here, but some of those leaves are transferring to the roof and to the gutter system. And some of this gutter system here and along the back is leaking. Again, the seams are leaking, okay? Now, over here, this here is an area below a roof valley. So you have the main roof here, and this part of the house, that roof comes into the main. That creates a valley above us, and the water flow here is a high volume in wet times. So this area here, you have some leaks here coming from the gutter system, and also some of the ribs here are festered up from the bypassing of the gutter system and into these ribs here. Okay? This is all manageable, and in the scheme of things, this is something that shouldn't be a high-ticket fix. The pool itself, again, the pavers are all fine. They look new, really. The grab bars were good. It was resurfaced. We didn't find any problems with the pool texture. Everything was good. The tiles were good. The jets and the ports, you had a strong flow going through, in and out.